Good evening, I'm back. I'm your host, Jack Remington, of the Jack Remington Political Analyst Channel. I had quit my 12 channels on YouTube, so I had taken a long break. Didn't really matter to me, but this is the one issue that brought me back, and brought me back immediately. It's these people protesting in the streets and made my wife late for work and made my coworkers and my friends and associates here in Ventura County that use the 101 south to get to the LA area like a 40-mile backup. I live like an hour and 10 minutes away from downtown Los Angeles. That's including the bad traffic. It affects all of us in this community directly. But these people, number one, they don't have proper permits to protest the way they've been doing. And I'm shocked that, well, I shouldn't be shocked. The California Highway Patrol, the CHP, and the LAPD, that they didn't make any arrests. That was January 31st, February 1st, 2nd, and this video I'm about to play is February the 3rd. So I'm going to play a video for you. Let's take a look, and then we'll show you some of the comments, and I'll make my final comment for the day. Take a look, folks.
Thousands flood the streets of downtown LA protesting President Trump's mass deportations. Law enforcement moving in tonight after the 101 freeway was shut down several times. I'm Jory Rand.
I'm Michelle Fisher. The freeway is back open, but some of those demonstrators are still lingering right now. Eyewitness News reporter Tim Caputo live near Union Station. Tim, what do things look like out there now?
Well, it's quiet, Michelle and Jory. It went from thousands of protesters to hundreds to just a few dozen. Just about a half an hour ago, they were walking around the corner. Their LAPD has actually been following them around for the last couple hours, trying to get them off the streets. At this point, there may be few, if any, protesters remaining in the streets. Meanwhile, you see behind me, this is Highway Patrol. They're actually blocking one of the entrances to the 101. This is one of the entry points that the protesters were able to walk onto the freeway. Obviously, the road is open at this point, but law enforcement tonight not taking any chances after all that went down today. The second-time protesters rushed onto the 101. They were running between cars, which thankfully by then had slowed to a crawl. Thousands of anti-ICE demonstrators who are against President Trump's new immigration policies protested throughout downtown Los Angeles for hours today.
It's been so great seeing everyone unite together. You know, we really need this, especially at a time like this during Trump's presidency. So, you know, it's really nice seeing the whole community come together, not just Mexicans, the whole Hispanic community at large.
Hundreds marched onto the freeway in the early afternoon, forcing CHP to shut down a stretch of the 101 in both directions. The disruption, a message to the White House and even local leaders that these increased deportations since Trump was sworn into office are tearing families apart.
Our family, we all want to stay together. We don't want to see our family have to leave. We should keep the families together. They're human beings. They shouldn't be treating them as just like trash.
Between the burnouts, the music blasting, and even fireworks, the protest was loud and impossible to miss. And that was the point.
I think we expected a lot of people to show up, but we didn't expect this amount of people to show up, and we're very glad because we're able to get our message through.
At one point, LAPD in tactical gear pushed a few people back as someone tossed a traffic cone at police, but otherwise the day-long protest never turned violent, and at last check, no arrests were made. There was some vandalism. Come Monday, you'll see plenty of four-letter words aimed at Trump spray-painted on walls and signs here. This massive protest follows several similar anti-ICE demonstrations around the country today, including this smaller but just as emotional rally held in Riverside today.
I'm here to support my people. You know, I have so much love for them, and I feel like we go through so much, and we're good people. We deserve the best just like everybody else.
It took LAPD several hours to finally get all the protesters off the roads downtown. But if getting attention was the goal today, these protesters did it with flying colors. You know, we've been able to track these protesters essentially by the law enforcement helicopter and its spotlight from above. That's been up for hours this evening. It is no longer up at the moment. Obviously, plenty of police presence out here tonight, making sure no protesters find their way back on the 101, especially at night, essentially making it safe for those protesters because it would be dangerous being on any roads this late at night.
I doubt any of these protesters were aware that the penalty for entering Mexico illegally is 2 years in prison. It's actually from anywhere from 2 years to 10 years. But they've changed some of that because of the problem since 2015. Good point. This comment needs to go viral. Do I get free housing and food and prepaid debt card after the 2 years? A migrant I know has been deported back to Mexico twice. He said if he got deported a third time, Mexico would imprison him. It's probably true. And all the tap water you can drink. The sad thing is it shouldn't take him that many times to begin with. I agree. See the Lake and Raleigh Act, the Congress finally passed. A bunch of cowards, the congressmen and women. They probably don't care. I love ICE. They probably don't care. Waving the Mexican flag, not the USA flag, then by all means go back. What does the Mexican immigration laws have to do with the rest of the world migrating into the U.S.? They don't care. Their freebies are gone. Is this why you're crying? You know, I think you're right. Here in Tennessee, we have a ton of Mexicans, and no doubt they are cool as hell. I thought this was just a northern thing with the Mexicans up there. Thank you for taking time to explain it to me. The taco munchers must leave. I think it's more about protesting fascism. I gave it a thumbs down. Waving a flag for a country you don't want to go back to, true scholars. 207 upvotes. This video hasn't got that many views. People from Mexico come to work and go back, so don't worry. Really. Yeah, how many of them go back? How long do they stay here for? Do you say the same thing when Irish people wave the flag on St. Patrick's Day? It has nothing to do with anything, folks. These people are protesting against the law of the land. Just like when they waved the Mexican flag during Cinco de Mayo or the Mexican independence, there's a big difference between protesting against the deportation of criminals and celebrating a holiday. Waving a flag of a country you don't want to go back to, make it make sense. 808 upvotes, 90 replies. California used to be Mexico, just like Texas, and they had the same thing there. Get a clue. So I'll leave this up for a few seconds, and you can take a look for yourself. And Mexico used to belong to the Aztecs until they were conquered by Cortez in 1519. So there's a quote, stolen land, end quote, argument is moot. It's true. So, because we have a horrible education system in this country, and they don't understand civics at all, and I'm not here to give history lessons in this format, but I have to say, Donald Trump was right when he said that we're the only country that allows this. So what did the Democrats and Rhino Republicans and do-gooder backers do? They put up a website. Well, there's 34 countries where they allow this immigration. What they don't tell you in that same article is that you have to pay for your immigration status, and they'll let you in legally as a registered citizen, a legal resident. But you got to pay these enormous funds. I think Canada was $800,000. Who's got $800,000 for citizenship? I'm sure there's a few Americans who've done that. One of my ex-wives' family had to do that many, many years ago when they were out of Indonesia, when the local Indonesians ran the Chinese people out. And they came to the San Francisco Bay Area many, many years ago. They had to pay their way. In those days, in the United States, you couldn't come here unless you were self-sufficient and already had a job waiting for you, or you could start a business. This thing with the Democrats around Barack Obama's time, they let anybody come in. They opened the borders because they need the votes. VOTES. They want their votes. These people you see protesting in these videos, most of them are probably legal citizens because of the birthright abuse that this country has had to endure since the 2000s. This chain migration, it brings in more people that are not part of the original program, and less than 10% of these people that are coming over have a job. Well, that's what they're not telling you. They're not telling you about the billions of dollars that Los Angeles County alone spends on welfare for these people. Don't want to work or can't work or whatever the case is. So they're taking advantage of the one worker that comes over here and does work, but he brings 15 people or more with him that don't work. That's a problem. They fill up our prisons, they fill up our jails, they fill up our hospitals, they fill up our halfway houses, they fill up our courts, they involved in gang activity. Not all of them like Trump said. Trump didn't say all of them. CBS is about to be sued into oblivion because they kept editing the clips against Trump, and Trump's fighting back. And I voted for Trump 3 times, and when I see these people waving the flag in my country on the streets like that, I'm done with them. I want them gone. All of them. I don't care if it's 80-year-old grandma, she still broke the law. If I break the law, guess what they're going to do to me? They're going to separate me from my family and put me right in jail. Were they special? You can't do that to them? What kind of people sends their unaccompanied small minor children on buses and walk through the treacherous terrain in the desert to try to get stationed here in America? What kind of people does that? Really? Well, I don't want those kind of people in my country. I want responsible, natural, legal citizens. My grandfather was a legal immigrant from Italy. He came over, we think it was 1888. He was in his 50s when he had my father. My father was born in 1917. My father was 40 when I was born. I was born in 1957, so it makes sense. But these people on nextdoor.com are making fun of me, saying, well, the math doesn't add up. Well, that's because you can't do any math because the education system sucks. These illegal immigrants have a lot of support where I'm at in Ventura City and Ventura County. I'm shocked at how much support they get. I wish there was a way we could lock them all up because they're our neighbors and they're breaking the law by backing these people, harboring them. We We got a case of the governor of New Jersey saying he's going to put the illegal alien girl up in the attic in New Jersey and dare Donald Trump's ICE to come get her. If I'm Mr. Holman, the director of the ICE, or Donald Trump himself, I would send the federal marshals and I would have the governor arrested immediately. Arrest these governors like Gavin Newsom. He keeps making the states sanctuary states. They're breaking the law. Arrest him. Put him and his assistants and his staff in jail, and we'll see what kind of tune they sing then. Trump is on the right side of the history, folks. Donald Trump is doing what we voted for. The immigration issue is a big issue. See the Lake and Riley Act. But I've ranted enough. I'll be back with another video, and we'll break this down even further. Thank you. Have a good day.